It was the final notice. A creased, red-stamped envelope shaking in the trembling hands of a man who once walked into his office with a briefcase full of dreams. Rajesh Kumar, age 39, sat alone in his dimly lit one-room apartment, the once crisp edges of his white collar now dulled by years of wear, his eyes hollow with exhaustion. Outside, life moved fast, cars honked, neon lights flickered, people laughed over late dinners. But inside Rajesh's world, everything stood still. He had just 3 days before the bank seized his home. He had failed. Again. Not because he didn't work hard, but because he never learned how to make money work for him. If you've ever felt life slipping through your fingers despite your best efforts, if you believe in second chances, if you still have hope in the power of transformation and kindness, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Speaks. Let's walk this path together. Rajesh hadn't always been like this. In fact, he was the pride of his village once, the first to graduate, the first to land a job in the city. He worked in a small accounting firm, waking up early every day, ironing his shirt till the creases could slice paper, and sending a portion of his salary back home to his aging parents. But over the years, life's demands grew heavier: rent, bills, health emergencies, debts, and Rajesh, like so many others, kept running on a treadmill going nowhere. He believed saving was enough. He believed loyalty to a job would bring security. But when the company downsized during an economic downturn, Rajesh found himself discarded like old furniture, left to rot in the corners of a city that no longer had space for his kind. He tried everything: day labor, odd jobs, applying to over 200 companies. Nothing stuck. He wasn't young enough for entry level, nor experienced enough for leadership roles. His savings evaporated, his dignity slowly drained. And in that moment, sitting with his back to the wall and the eviction notice in his hand, he whispered the words he had always been too afraid to ask: "What am I doing wrong?" It was a stranger, oddly enough, who planted the seed. Rajesh was helping carry some groceries for an old man he often saw feeding pigeons in the park. As they sat down, the man said something that pierced through the fog: "Money is a tool, son. Not a goal. You've been using it like a pillow instead of a hammer." Those words lingered. For the first time, Rajesh didn't look for another job. He went to the library. He borrowed a book on financial literacy, then another on investing. He devoured YouTube videos at night under a single bulb, scribbling notes furiously, his hunger no longer for food but for knowledge. Terms like compound interest, dividends, real estate equity, and passive income became new building blocks of his future. He didn't understand everything, but he learned that every rupee could become a soldier working for him, if deployed correctly. He sold his TV, his microwave, even his prized wristwatch, and invested the meager funds into a stock dividend portfolio. It wasn't much, but he started small. He also signed up for an online course on affiliate marketing using free trials. He built a blog, simple, clunky, but honest. He started sharing everything he was learning. "How I escaped financial death," he wrote in one post. No one read it, but he kept writing. 6 months later, one of his posts was shared by a popular financial literacy group. The traffic came in waves. Advertisers reached out. His blog crossed 10,000 views. And for the first time in a long time, Rajesh smiled, not because he had made money, but because he had created something that earned money while he slept. The eviction notice was long past due, but he never had to move. He made a payment that shocked the landlord. The man who once had nothing now had 3 income streams: his investments, his blog, and an online course he launched on budgeting for beginners. It didn't make him rich overnight, but it gave him power, freedom, purpose. Rajesh began offering free seminars in his old neighborhood, where young people stood in long lines to hear him speak. "Save less, learn more," he'd say. "Don't just chase money, teach it how to chase for you." Today, Rajesh Kumar is a name many young Indians associate with resilience. He lives modestly but proudly, helping others understand that money isn't evil, it's just misunderstood. He often ends his sessions with a story from his darkest days and a truth he clung to like a lifeline: the day you stop chasing money and start learning how it moves, is the day your life begins to change. If this story touched your heart, if Rajesh's journey gave you hope, inspiration, or strength, please like, comment, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Kindness Speaks to keep these stories alive and to be reminded that every setback can be the start of a new beginning. Speech Balloon Special Request. In the comments, share what you are doing today to make your money work for you, or what step you plan to take after watching this. Let's inspire each other.